but I do will be encouraging interaction. So just know that's okay. Okay. Great. Okay. Well, we have just started. We have 10 here. So I think most of you know me, but I'm sure a few of you don't. So I'll just go and give you an introduction, tell you a little bit more about me. And then I want to tell you a little bit more about Momentum, which is this is the first event of it. And then I want to hear about you guys. Okay. So first, a little bit me. For those of you who don't know me, well, predominantly a coach. So I'm a trained health and wellness coach. I'm also a trained human potential coach. And I think there's a few more, kinds of coaches in there, but predominantly, I'm actually now involved in creating the transformational coaching with IHS, the new course, and that's probably my truest nature, that kind of that transformational side of things. But previous to that, I had I trained in something called NLP, or neuro linguistic programming, and that's really mindset. For those of you coaches, a lot of coaches who perhaps would add it on at some stage. It's just a great tool to help you understand the mind, and especially what's called the unconscious part. So it's a way of, when logic and common sense isn't prevailing, sometimes the mind doesn't work like that. So it helps you get under the bonnet if you get curious in the future. You can reach out to me if you want to know more about NLP. And then I trained in nutritional therapy on my journey as well. But really, it was coaching that put it all together. And I just really have a big draw for coaching and for training coaches. I've been training coaches for the last 2016, so the last 6-7 years. And before that, I was training NLP practitioners. So more recently, I'm accredited, and I was accredited thought leader in behavioral change in 2020. And then I won the Lifestyle Coach of the Year award with Prestige Awards 2021. And I just got award recently. I've won it again. So on my style, I've trained to work with emotional eaters, and I find that incredibly satisfying. But I find my niche really becoming more and more supporting the coaches that I train and other people, and helping get established, get your confidence, get your skills, get the business know-how, which is a big topic as well. So that's really what I'm about. And then let me tell you about Momentum. So I just had a bit of a chat before all of you arrived. So really what's been on my mind for a long time is, even back in my early days, even before I was training coaches, was that when I was involved with IHS, we were training nutritional students. And there was this big, glaring statistic that most people who spend a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of effort training and become great practitioners or coaches, they don't go on to do it full time. So it's been a head scratcher behind the scenes.
Recording in progress.
Just got to mute someone there. So why don't we all get trained to go on and do it? Because when you're in the training, if you often get a lot, you becomes passionate and you enjoy and you get the belief and you want to do more of it, and then it tapers off. So over the years, I've been looking at that and thinking about that and went on that journey myself. And one of the things is just like that, the support we get in the group and in live training is, I really thrived in it. And I know a lot of you probably did too. And then, it comes to an end naturally, and you get your certificate and you try and keep up the pace, but on your own, it's very, very hard. So it's really inspired about I find what I would love to do is help anybody who wants to, forge their own path as a coach or in wellness and as a practitioner, to help, I suppose, share some of my knowledge, but really coach you as well through barriers and make that a successful transition and a quick transition. So these Momentum group sessions are really for the people like practitioners, coaches, etc., out there who spend a lot of time by yourself, or maybe you've got work it's ongoing as well, but in the context of your coaching or your wellness practitioner business, you don't have much, I suppose, you won't have that live group energy. So that's part of it. But we're also going to follow a structure today. We're going to just go have a typical coaching structure to help you all get the most from your month. So on a serious level, we can all dream, we can all have goals and aspirations, but if we don't take action and we don't take smart action, our dreams won't become a reality. So there's a support, and that also is the structure, but then there's also a little bit of a challenge. I'm going to be challenging you all to, to get more out of yourselves for this month. My plan is to run these monthly. There's been a great interest. And the first one, so I imagine rolling these out every month. And around the start of the month, we'll get together. You want to come back, and it gives you that ongoing support, a little bit of extra accountability. I ask you all at the end if you want to, share a commitment to yourself with the group, because that adds extra, if you're coming again next week, you'd like to say you were successful with your follow through. And we're going to follow basically. We'll look at that, and also perhaps I'll be able, if you're coaches, or you may be able to just learn as to go through the structure. I'll be asking questions and trying to coach you through any different specific bits. Maybe you'll get a little bit of coaching, or maybe you'll pick up some of the skills that I have as a coach, if I've been at it longer than you. Okay, everybody, any questions on that, or anything you want like to ask me, or explain more momentum? Maybe you think, oh, I'm in the wrong place. Should I go? Even if you're not a coach or a practitioner, I'll find out in a minute. You're very welcome. I think we could all do with a coach, So, and getting clear in the start of the month for the week ahead or the month ahead is usually good investment in your time. So I don't want to take up too much of your time. And let's get on to, and let's shift focus a little bit more to all of you. So where in the world are we all? Let me just see, let me chat box up. Who here is from Ireland today? How many Irish in the camp? So but if you can, in the chat box, just put in Ireland, I suppose, or me. Probably Ireland would be good. And if just pause, I give the others a chance. It's not. So we have Helen, Caroline, Annie, myself is 3, 4. Okay, the last time the Irish had taken over the room with the mentor coaching. Okay, there's another one. And then UK. So how many in the UK? I think I'm going to pick up a lot more of you over there. 1, 2, Paula, David. In the chat box, please. It helps me kind of keep a note. Sue. I think Lucy's over in the UK too. Yeah, Jenny, you're always Irish, no matter where you are. But Jackie Poole, okay, the UK, great. Sue in the UK. So we're probably mostly in the Ireland and UK. Anybody outside of Ireland, UK, but still in Europe? Natalie, yes. Where are you today?
Germany.
You're in Germany, and you're from South Africa. And Golden's in the sun in Cyprus. So winter isn't really probably hitting you as hard as the rest of us.
Not at all. Still really hot.
Yeah, it's probably come cooling off nicely to okay, well, a little bit of envy, but great to have you on board, bringing all the energy. Anybody from outside of Europe, even further afield? Okay, not today. Okay, well, thank you all for that. Well done. And I'd like to check in now and see how many of you are some kind of a coach, a nutrition coach, a life coach, a lifestyle coach, in the chats, please. I'll have Kim talk it up. If you're trained as a coach or have aspirations to be a coach, you're on that journey. Annie, Jenny, Natalie, Gula is an NLC nutrition and lifestyle coach. Health coaching training, you're still in it. Good, Claire. Yes, nutritional therapist, health coach. Yeah. So some of you will have your expertise, perhaps. I know there's a doctor or two in the room. You have your expertise and you've trained in the coaching as well. So it can be a nice add-on. Excellent. Anybody here is not a coach, but kind of in the wellness practitioner side of things? Maybe you're more sports science and performance coach. Okay, David. Yeah, who will actually put in your extra need, put in your extra speciality there if you've got, even if you're a coach, but it's you have another wellness, health or wellness kind of hypnotherapist. Cool. Anybody else got other, especially if you're trying to Reiki master, Caroline? Excellent. I've actually been promising myself a Reiki session for a while now. Yes, lifestyle medicine and NLP. Okay. Okay, so there's lots here. We have, fitness instructors, health and exercise physiologist, lecturer, Jennifer, researcher. Okay, great. Cool. Nursing, health, visiting. See, we're all even as coaches, we usually have it's a very diverse group. So that's fantastic. Wellness, anyone not a coach, you're not really in the coaching side of things at all. Maybe you have an answer. Okay, so I know most of you and you're coaching. Okay, excellent. Okay, so now I want to keep a bit of a pace for a while, just so I tick all the boxes, but I don't want to rush it, because if you rush it, you crush it. And before we go into maybe goals and thinking about the future, who here has heard of the reverse gap? You can do a show of hands or put in the box. Dan Sullivan made it popular, the reverse gap. So if you're coaches, this is a nice one. It's because you know what? It's so easy to think of goals, you know, and we're constantly going into the future where we want to be. A lot of it's very, you know, it's crazy. It's a very, you know, it's as a coach, we help people improve their lives by this kind of stuff. But the problem with that is, yes, Golden, it's a bit like reverse engineering. I'll explain in a minute. The problem with always having a goal in the future is, what do we notice? When you have a goal and you compare it to right now, is the gap. And sometimes the gap can, you know, be your problem. And sometimes it can start feeling like it's a bit of a drag. Oh God, there's too many things to do. Just think of the way you like your house to look, and then there's the reality of what needs to be tidied up, or presses have to be cleared, or floors have to be, you know, hoovered again, whatever. So the same as we're always constantly looking at the gap, we're constantly focusing on that. So in positive psychology, let's look at the reverse gap, because where you are now, compare where you are now to where you were some time ago, and looking back at all you've achieved to get to where you are now. So let's just do that in September. Let's get way ahead of ourselves. Who here, let's focus on our wins in September. Sometimes we haven't really given much thought. So give you a chance. And what I hadn't said before is this is a high-tech operation. When you need a pen or a pencil will also do, and some of this stuff. And a pen and a paper is really useful. If you want to type, you can do that too as well, but I'm low-tech. So the reverse gap. Let's start thinking about your wins in September. Now, it doesn't have to be confined to September, but just start searching your memory banks. There's probably things, if they're already there, you know, in your mind, they're present, super. And for those of you who are willing, let's share some wins. So I'm going to get straight out here and say I launched Momentum. And it's the 4th of October, and look at this beautiful group I have. So that's one, something like it. Anyone, what would you call me? Match me with a win from the last month or so. And if you're scratching your head, just remember this exercise might be very valuable, because if you're spending, and we'll see now why we spend time on this, it doesn't have to know. It can be any win at all. And this is positive psychology here. So make it about launch Gaia's Womb Community. Well done, Lucy. Beautiful. I love the name, Gaia's Womb Community. Wow. Okay, well done, and blessings on Gaia's Womb Community. And it can be a personal goal. And it doesn't have to be big. It's really, really important. We're all getting carried away with social media and other people's big wins. It could just be, you know, like getting to bed early enough and getting your energy back. That's a big win. 14 years married. Well done, Claire. Yes. Well, I big up to that. I'm heading for seven next year. Yeah. So, well done. Happy 14th anniversary. You're getting to grips with Instagram. And then first Insta Live was carried lovely. You're face to fear, and you mastered some of this stuff out. You know, there's so many of these things as a coach you guys had to figure out along the way. Some of them can be annoying, can't they? You go do a small little techie thing, and it ends up taking you hours to research and find it. Drop 7 pounds. Excellent, Helen. Started a diploma in positive health. Rented a seat at remote work and gained some structure. Yes, well done, Annie. Moved from UK to home. Hey. Did my first presentation to a very large corporate audience, 700 plus online. Well done, Sue. Big stuff. Got back to your gym routine. Nice. Caught up on your accounts. Well done. Very satisfying for me when I get those out of the way. Wow. Yeah. Signed up for computer training course today. Nice. See the way it starts to come. This is important for us to remember. You know, we spend a bit of time on it, and it's like sometimes you prime the pump, nothing there, and then suddenly the gush of water comes. Our brains can be like that. So flushing it out. Participated in an NLP and time paradigm course. Ooh, mind expanding stuff, Daniela, from my experience. Okay, great. Okay, so you have so let's just reflect. Keep doing that. Rachel, yeah, no, the red tape, it's just another form of resistance or trying to put you off stepping into your purpose. Don't mind it. Shut the inner gremlin. How PC of you, Helen. You didn't tame any gremlin, you shot him between the eyes. Started training for a volunteer role with LGBT Ireland. Well done. Cool. Okay. Excellent. Good wins. Now, we got something from me, someone? Who's that? Brita? I'm going to mute you, Brita, unless that was. I would have, I think, put together 10 minutes. I know. Is there someone not muted here? Speaking bush. Okay, I think that was for us. Okay, great. So just keep doing that. Your wins. Good, Lucy, booked on to Mumsinger. Just start, and even if they're small, you don't have to share them all. Share them all, please. If you do, it's lovely for the group energy. But get the grey matter thinking about this. And when you've kind of remembered, yeah, you do get stuff done. You are making progress. You can do it, and you do it. And even if you have to reach back a little bit into the summer, if September wasn't fantastic, do that. And then now start thinking about what would you like to get? What would you like to get from yourself in October? What they're going to hear of some questions here. What do you really want from yourself this month? You really want from yourself this month. Don't even have to get it too specific yet. Just get that kind of intention. What do you really want from yourself? We'd all love magical things to happen, but getting a bit more real. What are you going to really put your energy into to make October great? Okay. Yeah, so put it out there as it is, even if it's, I might ask some of you to get more specific or something in a minute. 2 more paying clients, good attendance, workshops to make time for self-care. Good. So remember that high-tech equipment that's really going to be working for you now, writing down these. There's great statistics, you know, when we write down a goal, I think it's 60% more likely to be achieved. So you're way ahead of the posse already. Launch an audio library, lovely. Same as a website, gets a website ready, cool. And you can have personal goals, family goals, business goals. You might kind of chunk down a little bit later on focus areas, but and you can have more than that. I don't recommend, like, it's lovely just to have one focus, but in it for a month, you know, you might have to balance your life, keeping focus on self-care, and managing your own energy, on your family, on relationships, on, you know, me time, on social time, and then on the business side of it as well. What do we got here? Keynote message nailed, and begin networking. Have an amazing Halloween. Nice. Good. I was going to mention Halloween later on. Get a new client, get 2 new clients, get confident with IT, laptop, making friends with the computers. Get up and running with Reiki business, website, start blogging a website. Okay. Finally finish the HWC course, set priorities different, and enjoy me time on holidays. Good. Now, good. Just get the intention out there first. Now look back at your goal. This is where you can be working on it by yourself here. Our goals, the more specific, generally the more specific, the better. We don't have to really get that crystallized just yet, but just think of okay, let me do something else with you first. I thought it might be nice is just let's do a guided visualization together, and then we'll build on what you've just done. Okay. So if you want, you can close your eyes. I'm just going to do basically going to visualize. I'm going to help you visualize a month from now. So if you can, just get relaxed, close your eyes, and when you're ready, just start to notice your breath. Let your breath start to relax. You just notice that if you simply focus on your breath will start to find. First of all, you'll be aware if the breath maybe is running a little bit fast. Mine is right now. Simply paying attention, you'll find that it will start to form its own rhythm. Main thing is to know that all you have to do is let your magnificent mind bring to you now the information that we're going to call. Okay. So when you're ready, I want you to think about, it's a month from now. So it's the start of November. We've just had Halloween. We've just had the long holiday weekend, bank holiday Monday in Ireland anyway. I think it's the same in the UK. We're just coming out of October, and now you're there, and maybe you're out under a tree, maybe you're drinking your morning cup of coffee, but you're having a bath or you're somewhere, and you're just reflecting. You have a few moments now to reflect on the month that was October. And you're thinking, wow, that really was a great month for me. That really was a great month. And I feel really good now because I put in the effort to get what I wanted from it, and it's paid off. And October really was a great month for me. And I just think, what made it a great month? If you're there, we just think about what made it a great month. And give yourself time to reflect and just notice, was there anything you did more of than usual? It's a little bit out of the norm. It doesn't all have to be perhaps about work. It could have been the work-life balance. It could have been just working on your sports, your energy, social life. Just notice things that you're doing more of. For you, by yourself, with others. What were you doing more of? And then, when you got a few ideas of what you're doing more of, notice if you think you did less of as well. You tend to waste a lot of energy and time. So what were you doing less of in this great month? Okay, and when you've got a kind of enough of a sense of, yes, it's the beginning of November, you're looking back at the month that was, and you know it's been a great month. Maybe that goal you were thinking about earlier, maybe you're just on the successful achievement of that goal and it feels really good. You're there now, you've got an idea of what has to change. A little bit, there's definitely going to be a difference between perhaps 1st of October, 1st of November. When you've got all that, we're ready to kind of come back into the room, transport yourself a little bit back into the room, out of that beautiful inner place where you were. And hopefully you all have got a sense of what made October great. And from that, perhaps greater clarity around that goal you had. If so, remember your goals: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, true. Now, a month isn't a very long time, so we don't want to get over ambitious. It is a long time if you've got loads of time. If you've got a young family, and you have a job, that can go pretty fast. But we're looking at kind of making sure that's realistic. These goals we're setting yourself up for success. So who here would like to share anything about, anybody would like to share anything from their little trip into the future? Or a contract and notice, that helped me realize I did less of this, or I need to do more of this or less of this. Any shares there? And thank you so far for all the shares. It's really been great to help. You can come in verbally or use a chat box. Anybody want to come in verbally? Yes. Paul, have you got, is that
Sorry, I think my chat box is playing up, so I'm not going to be chatting.
No problem,
using
you're
it
here.
much. Yeah. So I have a few things. I think that's mixed around sort of work and life.
Okay.
So I've got a few things that I'm hoping in November that I'll have a new stove fitted. So that's like a family project, home project.
Mm-hmm.
And in between that, because I put down that I've been doing some decluttering, much needed, that has been going on in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm sort of looking at just sort of checking back in with myself and my own personal health, which also includes gym, fitness, but also some other things as well, some sort of female things. So I'm hoping that I would have dealt with that, or at least made a start with doing a few of those things. In terms of work, I've just started a sort of kind of loosely fitting partnership with a friend of mine, and we're going to be doing some HR projects, and I hope that we will have signed off on a couple of the projects, and I would start on them. So in November, I'm hoping that when I look back, that I've either finished one or two of them, or at least started. And some of it will be tying in with the health and wellness coaching that I've done with you, Shane.
Okay, cool. Good. Okay. So, and if you were like Paula and you realize it's kind of there's a few areas, it's good idea to chunk them. So what I mean by that is we call it in my language is focus areas. I heard there for you, Paula, like health was in there. But there was also home, there was a stove being fitted, and decluttering. I think that's probably decluttering the home. So you could just have, when you chunk like that, sometimes it feels, oh, I've got so much to do. But if it's chunked, it's just like, well, okay, what have I do for the house this month, for the home, or for my health, for work? It's suddenly, it's just smaller, it makes it more manageable. The more we can break things down and organize them, the less overwhelm we might perceive, and the easier, the more attainable it is, and also easy to make kind of a structure. Then you ever wake up in the morning and you've all day to do something, and then you go, great, and then it's the least productive day ever because you didn't have a list, you didn't have much to do, you just thought you had all day, and then get it done. So the structure is really valuable, and we can just not get overwhelmed and get the kind of the balance right for the day. Anybody got another focus area in there that wasn't mentioned? We had health, we had home, work. You know what I mean by anyone know? I think most of you know what I mean by focus areas. It's just a kind of a natural chunk that these tasks are, to home. Family is another one. You maybe want to spend some family time, or something you need to do for the family, with the family. And then life admin. I love that expression, because it just takes, you can't ignore that stuff. It takes up a big chunk of your time. There's so many paying bills and changing accounts and this and that. It just takes up time. So that can be another good one. Okay, you see, nice. Play with boys, a quality time, and set work hours rather than always fitting it around the edges. Good. So a boundary there is something I've coached a lot on. Create a business card for the Reiki business. More life and less work. Oh yeah. Want more of that? Got clarity in things. Okay, good. More clarity regarding next steps. So who here is struggling? Who here like a little bit of coaching around your goal? Anyone not get a kind of cleared all? It's not really happening for you. That a clear outcome for November to help you start to focus your energy now and start prioritizing. So if you're doing this by yourself, you don't need my help. You might have a lot of things out. If you've got quite a lot going on there, you can chunk it. And then the next thing after you chunk will be to prioritize it. Get your list out. And then you want to, I suppose, especially working on a month-to-month basis, you want to make sure that you're not ignoring the most important stuff. Because you'll be stressed, and you'll end up spending time where it needs to be done, perhaps maybe not, doesn't even need to be done. It should be done, or it could be done, and you're doing that. So prioritizing and putting the most important ones front and center can be really can be nice. So we have, so let me go back to some clear goals now. Try and formulate now a clear goal for November. For example, I'm going to create a business card for my Reiki business. That's pretty specific. You wouldn't have much else to do there. If you're getting more specific, by when, is that to have it created or printed, delivered or not? Think of a sense of urgency. Play it so a little bit loosely. Playing with the boys with quality time and set work hours rather than always fitting in around. Just get specific. Start thinking of like work and time. Start thinking of cutoff periods. By at the latest, I finish this, or from this hour to this hour, from 6 till 8, I'm available with my kids, or put a structure on it. A lot of times it's like putting a cage around work or around your hours. That fitting it around the edges. Finish the health and wellness course, Daniela. So right, you know what you have to do. I think write up whatever needs to be done, whatever else you have to do for you to get that done. Put it on a list, and get it done, or at least know how far you're progressing, or if something's going to take longer. Yeah, this one here, a great one here from Gulden. We can all learn from this. She had more life and less work since she moved back to Cyprus, so she wants to continue that. So what would that look like, Gulden? What if you had achieved that balance where you felt you were living and working in a nice balance? Can you what would it look like? What would it be like for you? What do you see? What do you feel? How would you know? Yeah, that was a great day because I did this and I finished this, and I what you did or didn't do, or maybe it's hours, maybe it's productivity, maybe it's a day off. Get more clear on the specifics, and then you can work towards a goal. Restore health to optimal levels. Again, Helen, way too vague. So you need to put a bit of a measure in that. For 1 month, it might be unrealistic for most of us, when you think of some of the people out there going to reach, striving for optimal health. And what would it look like if you reached November really happy with how you optimized your health? What would you notice? What would you feel? What is a behavior you would be doing? You went, if I'm doing this, that means I'm at an optimal level of wellness. That's more specific, that's more attainable. Then we go, we want to have clear, measurable outcomes. Build strength as well as flexibility. Okay, so you're going to need to get it for a goal. You're going to need to put, if you build strength, how would you know you would build strength? Is there a weight you could lift? Is there maybe the amount of pull-ups or press-ups or push-ups or bum-ups, I don't know, whatever you do, that you would know to get that you would build strength. And flexibility, maybe it's been able to put your palms on the floor, or whatever your measure of flexibility is. What isn't measured isn't managed. And Carolyn, I would love if my card was designed and printed by mid-November. Okay, good. So now you're able to put a time on it. So Jackie's getting specific now. Schedule time daily, 30 minutes to work on my website, blog. Good. If you want to go a little bit further, so that's going to be started. Yeah, that's scheduled. When would you have it scheduled by? Start of the week, the night before, the day after, first thing in the morning. Get that more kind of, often we fall down, we just don't get specific enough, and then it's not done. But if you can, beautiful idea, if you can schedule, this is where I've noticed in wellness coaching, some of my clients super organized, efficient at work, and then have these breakthrough moments. Oh yeah, I never thought of scheduling like my exercise or my meal times or anything. For me, it was always just in that lens of work. Okay, anybody stuck or need help kind of narrowing down a focus for what you want to get from yourself this month to make October your best month yet? And remember, thinking specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, timed. So great sharing, Ray. Thank you so much, everybody. You're really contributing. It's really fantastic. There's a nice list from Sue, time with daughter, admin sorted. Admin, so pension, so admin sorted. You know what that means in your head, but write down what it means. So it's the pensions, what will you have done? pensions, tax. How do you know it's done? Work, coaching, move, sketch, fitness, next step. Swim and run at least 5. So if you're going to, minimum time. If some of these you're already kind of working on, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. But if it's something that is new, or if it's not, if it's unreliable, get specific. Use the SMART criteria. Okay, good. So do we all feel like, I've got a better sense now, I'm getting clear what it will look like when I have had the best month yet? And then checking yourself now that these are, this is valid. This seems achievable for me. Is it really important? Is that what you really want? By saying yes to this goal, what are you saying no to? Okay, so far, TV, confusion. Okay, so by saying yes to this goal and getting clear and putting that extra level of clarity, purpose, intention, and follow through on it, there will be things you'll have to say no to. If it's a raise, if you raise the game from last month, that's putting things off. Good. Did anyone come up with it? Oh, everything was going great, and then when I asked myself that question, I went, oh, I forgot about that. How am I going to squeeze that in? Everything so far is things like, what you're saying no to isn't really, I don't seem to be as a problem. Sometimes you do some coaching and you think you have your client almost set, and you ask them that question, and they go, oh yeah, by saying this, I'm saying no to, and then the whole thing can turn around. So it's better to have that eureka moment now than after you've been trying to get somewhere for the month and then not achieve it, and then realize it wasn't a priority anyway, or realize it wasn't well thought out. So in time with kids and if you're saying no to time with kids and husband, maybe you've got loads of time with your kids and husband anyway, and it could be a bonus. And my wife would bite your hand off for things like that. So that's not a nearly problem. But for people who don't get enough, or just about get enough time with family, much bigger consideration. Okay, so Annie's getting specific. You see this now? Getting up at 7:37, get bed by 10, prioritize 9 to 5. Go, okay, very specific. Okay, good, Annie, getting very specific. Saying no to myself, always needing lists. Okay. So then you can, we'll be looking at actions very soon. So do you notice now, as it gets more specific, it starts to feel more real. And as you start to try and put it in the calendar or make a commitment to it, you go, whoa, do I really want to do this? Right, because, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So we need to go beyond, what good intentions and actually do the work. So this is where we can start to see some flaws in our intentions and flaws in our plan. Gulden.
Shane, I have something to say here. You said that when we put things on the calendar, like with what I needed, like go to bed at 10 p.m. and it's all good. I do that all the time. Like I have the plan. I have the plans and intentions, but that's when I feel claustrophobic, like the self-doubt and fear comes. Oh my God, how am I going to do all these things and all these plans? So I want to, that's where I get stuck. I get scared of my calendar when I look at it. So that's when so like commitment is there, and it's getting real. It's getting really real. Now it's there, and that's when I get scared and get stuck and start putting things off.
Okay.
When I get really specific like that. Okay, wake up at 7. Oh my God, no, I have to wake up at 7. Like that. Yeah. Like that's where I want to make things easier for me, I guess, to commit to what I set out to do on my calendar.
Okay, so you're good at the putting it on the calendar.
Planning, yeah.
Planning,
I'm really good at planning.
I'm the opposite. Like I'm kind of ready for everything and prepared for nothing. So this kind of, I work hard at this and I get benefits. So then it's really, so I think a couple things you said to me is like, it seems to intimidate you when it's done organized like that.
Yeah.
So then I suppose
Too tightly.
Too
Too
tightly.
tightly. When I organize too tightly, like 7 p.m. wake up and 10 p.m. deep work, and I don't know what
Okay.
things like that intimidate me a lot. Like when I put specific times and too much things on my calendar, like I'm gonna do this at this time and this at this time, and it just gets super scary at the end.
Yeah. Okay. So you're a good planner. What I find perhaps in coaching is flexibility around planning. It sounds like, what's not working for you is putting specific things into a box and trying to make yourself do them at that time.
Yeah.
And then when you think of all these things, and also they're not pleasant to think of. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So are there some tasks
so.
are there some tasks that you just sit down and go, yeah, actually I kind of like this, or this is fine, or this is the best bit?
I actually do like my tasks that I put on my calendar. Like I put exercise or Pilates on my calendar. I really like to exercise, but when I plan my calendar at like super specific like that at specific times, that's when it's like,
Okay.
that's when I get intimidated by.
Okay.
So I'm thinking maybe I should just block times, like they say that time blocking works.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So at this point, then what's that is not working for you. So what I would suggest, what's like to overcome the reason you mentioned scared as well. So you normally you're very aware of that. It's like, I'm scared. But like normally it's subtle and we have fear, but we get uncomfortable and we just distract ourselves and we'll find suddenly it's something much more.
I think it's self-sabotaging, because like, oh my God, I'm going to be successful. And it's like self-sabotaging all the way to get there, I guess, because our brains do this to us neurologically.
Yeah. So let me just, for all of you, if you're doing your job properly, you're going to meet that, because you're going to be growing. And when we grow, we're going to push against our comfort zone. We're going to meet. So it's really, I suppose, is that catching that fear, catching the scaredness, and realize that's okay. And not allowing the scare to push you back, and just forging ahead. So making the plan, maybe making it work for you. So that pressure seems to be counterproductive for you, and it would be for me, Gulden, as well. So you want to find, I also find that with no pressure, I won't move. So it's finding the right amount of pressure, but for like getting your bum on the seat in front and doing some work, that is usually very productive. So rather than thinking I'm going to do this and this, like I say, block time. Like when can I give myself 3 hours at the computer or on the phone calls, etc., on 4 hours here, and then make sure you turn up. If you turn up and sit down and make yourself just do something on the list, once you get started, you're usually fine. Do you notice?
Oh yes, I'm really happy when I like follow through the things that I want to, like I set out to do, and at the end I'm really happy that I did.
Okay.
I feel really productive and happy, but it's just pushing through this discomfort of getting out of your comfort zone, let's say.
Yeah. So you want to kind of think of that as you expect that. Don't overstretch yourself here, but find out what I love is a kind of a minimal commitment to self. So like, it's like, by 10 o'clock, I am at the desk, or by 5 o'clock PM, I will have done my so many set hours working on that. And also think the first time, if you have put the juicy ones at the top of the list.
Eat the frog first.
And well, if you can, if you could, brilliant. If you're gung ho, but it sounds to me that it was more like, it's like the taste of that frog is going to put you off. So put the chocolate covered ones at the top of the list. After you have three of those down, the one without the chocolate won't seem too bad. But we're referring to the swallow the frog metaphor. If you haven't heard, it's great. But try and then just focus also then on the buzz. You spend more time focusing on how good it feels after you've done it, or all I have to do is this one thing on the list, and then I gotta get that reward. So you're focusing on the reward rather than just constant all these tasks. Little tips. And Atomic Habits, from that book, as you said, you just break it into the tiniest. I just have to sit at my desk and send the first email or write the first paragraph, or you break it down. Once you get over that hump, you're usually well, and you've broken the back of it, and you're just able to keep going. So rather than see it as big, it seems really small, really achievable, and then just keep going. How does that all land, Gulden?
Yes, This all sounds good. I think I will just have to put more minimal things on my calendar rather than putting a lot of things at the specific
Okay.
times. Just time block and put, like, make it minimally, just
Yeah.
not too intimidating, things that I will just be comfortable doing, so I can get that baby steps forward. So
Baby
then
steps.
I'll get the momentum going.
Yeah. Yay, momentum.
And yes.
Super. So breaking it down,
Thank you,
and I think
Shane.
so. For the
Yes.
test for you is after you've done your scheduling task, you check it out. How do I feel about it? Does it feel intimidating? I need to go back. If it feels like, oh, it's okay, that's your test.
Yeah.
Try that out.
Yeah. Thank
Experiment.
you.
That's what
Thank
I
you, Shane. Yes.
Thank you, Golden. Okay, we still have about 10 minutes left. I was thinking, let's get clearer on your actions, specific actions. Are we all getting those specific actions in that you need to? Remember, we talked about what has to change, do more of, do less of. So now, for those of you who don't know, haven't perhaps differentiated goals, a useful one here that's probably is process goal. So a process goal is rather than an end goal where you're trying to achieve an outcome. It's like every day I'm going to do 10 minutes of yoga, or every week I'm going to go for a walk at least 3 times for 30 minutes. And it's a goal that's constantly in process. And basically it's habit forming. So your goals may be a process goal. And it would be like by going to bed, like I think there was one there, 9, Netflix goes off at 9 and be in bed by 10. Good luck with it. That'd be amazing, you know, what that can do for the steep and energies. Some people are talking about journaling in the morning. Yeah, so a process goal, that can be a wonderful way to you're building in habits, and then those habits support you. So they're a great way to make long-term progress. But then also for those specific goals, you might have an outcome goal like is there specific actions that are unique more to this week, this month, that if you got clear on that now, yeah, that would have to be done. I would have to do that to get to that outcome, to achieve that goal. To be there at the start of November, looking back at October going, that was a great month. I made that happen. And I made that happening by doing less of this and more of this. So there was less TV in there. There was less, I think, confusion. So finding, and then forming it into actions. Anyone some nice clean actions for me now? An action step. It could be one-off or it could be a process goal. If we're talking about journaling in the morning, so it is like an action is, you know, is it a page? Is it just a minute? Is it put some kind of a structure on it, and before I get out of bed, it's done? Or is it before a certain time? A held brain in the morning. Saying no to meetings on Zoom unless they're related. Yeah. You know, if you can avoid a meeting, generally do. I think I know a lot of people stuck in companies that waste a lot of time in endless meetings. Or can you attend some of the meeting? Okay, so tomorrow morning, use Canva to create an easily identifiable picture frame for Insta posts. Okay, pretty specific. So by when will you have it done by? Will you have it done by tomorrow morning? Will it be, is there a time on it? Just for you, sometimes you don't need to go into nitty gritty, but you got to be thinking that way to go, well, whether it's 10 o'clock or 12 o'clock, once I've done in the morning. We don't want to be vague or all things start slipping away. Investigate, okay. So that can be maybe a length. So some of your goals might be, are you going to investigate it until you've got a result, which I'm going to investigate until I am happy with this, or I'm confident with this, or it's until I have the design I want, or is it I'm going to investigate for 30 minutes? I can invest 20 minutes of my time to investigate. Just think about what is the commitment. So done by lunch, nice. Okay, cool. Keep at it till you know the outcome, and you can keep at it. And sometimes you get interrupted, but you go back to the outcome. Nice. Any more goals? And then think of, and maybe there's a goal for a week, this week, next week, if you're a forward planner. Break it down and thinking of that end goal in mind. What steps have to start, what steps, and what are the next steps in relation to your goals for the month? Yeah, simple, like Gulden says, baby steps. It's a great chance for you, Gulden, to think of baby steps. Yeah, I just did that. So write them down, share some if you like, and we're making sure they're all going. Wake up by 7. Okay, nice and specific, spend 30 minutes. Reward yourself with a 10-minute yoga relaxing. Fantastic. Okay, sounds like you're on it there. Nice and specific. And is that so? Then, if it's a process goal, Jackie, is it going to be 5 days a week, 7 days a week, certain days, not other days? And would you give yourself kind of a break if you did it all week and then Saturday, Sunday is a different structure? It's quite often it's good to just check, is it a kind of a weekend appropriate? Because people will often say to you, yeah, 7 days a week, and then you check in a week, a weekend, and yeah, actually Monday to Friday. Nice, Jackie. So that's the kind of level of specificity. And then I suppose if you're that far on with your actions, tracking, how will you know if it's done or not? Or how will you know when it's done? So this is, you're talking about a tracker sheet, a wall calendar, your diary, your journal, whatever way, anything you already use, a list, a buddy, super, when to talk about sort, fantastic. Okay, so you're thinking of your actions, and then when your actions, so then the accountability and support. Two questions to ask yourself there would be, who can help me with this? If you maybe just help me with account, or who could help me be more accountable to myself with this? Yeah, this monthly session. So if you go back again next week, if you share your goal, I'm not going to record written, but if you share your thing now, you can kind of reflect back in the month. So ideally, if the thing is, I think you're coming onto the next momentum, start in November, and what you set out to do, you were clear in the actions and how you would track the actions. So maybe you're using your wall calendar, look back and 4 days last week, 2 days the week before, 3 days the week before that. So out of the last month, I did 14 days where I managed to blah blah blah. Good. Okay. Anyone barriers? Is anyone bumping into barriers here? As like, as you think about these actions, if you haven't bumped into it yet, you think, ask yourself, what could get in the way of me being successful with this? Paula.
Hi, Shane. For me, usually barriers tend to be sort of grouped up in life happening or unexpected things. So even if I've got a nice list on my calendar, if say something that I hadn't thought about or forgotten about comes up, or just general distractions. So I've kind of started learning how to, rather than just getting really like het up that I haven't done something, to just try and find a way to to go back, like say, for example, using fitness. So right before, I used to get quite cross with myself if I didn't do something or I'd fallen off the wagon. But I've got a new little system where I just use a tally. So as long as I've done for the month, or say I'll just tallied off that I've done, even if I haven't done, say, every day I've done something, but I can look back and say, well, actually, okay, I didn't do something every day, but I did something, say, I know most of the month I did do something. So that's usually what I've been, but that's usually my thing. It's distractions or unexpected things happening.
Yeah, life happening. So you would just reflect on boundaries. Are there opportunities for you to create a boundary to kind of protect yourself from some? I know, like when you got young kids too. I think you had a little one. Yeah. So there's a constant disruption. So it's kind of rolling with that, and the tally system is great because then you may lose ground one day and pick it up another day. And then it levels off. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. I saw this thing about, it was called, I don't know what it's called again. If I find it, I'll send it to you, but it's like 1 and a 0, and you aim to get as many ones. So you don't, rather than having, like I didn't do something, a fail, but not having a fail or success. But so I started doing that, and actually it was quite nice. I'd look back at my calendar, go, actually, I've got quite a few ones, sort of thing. So that was quite helpful for me. That was I use that for fitness, as opposed to, so I haven't used, I need to find something for other things now, but
well, if it works in fitness, maybe it's, you see how it can map across to there, it sounds great. And this is what you're gonna, and this is where something a new environment you have to adapt. And maybe what worked for you in the past is no longer really working. So well done, you're creative. So really the ones and the zeros, and if you're coaching clients, look out for the success, failure, good, bad, and take it away from that. Think language like effective, ineffective, done, not done. We want to take the emotions out of it, so it's just more, was it done or not? That's really kind of a better way to just keep a track, not be so emotionally invested in it. So the ones and zeros seem to help you associate a little bit from more of the, did it do it, didn't do it, and the story. That's kind of,
actually done, not done is quite good as well. That's good as well, actually.
Okay, good. Okay, well done, everyone. So we're looking at barriers, but ideally by now you've done your goal. You've had a bit of it. You visualized that perhaps in November. You got clear what has to change. You've got some actions down. You're thinking of barriers. Some of them seem to be kind of great barriers to get, well, not great, but tell you what you're saying no to, opportunities to watch less telly, etc. Accountability. So if you want to put a commitment to yourself is like the most important. And remember, you only really want to make a commitment to yourself if you mean it. So I would urge you to hold back. Normally urging the group to get it out there. This time is like, just check with yourself first. But if you get something that all of you is behind, ooh, beautiful. Just put it down, even if it's a small thing. And it's a commitment to show up for yourself. And we're all here to support you because we all know it's tough. Lovely to have you on board, Claire. Let's hope we see you in the next one. Join my email list if you haven't got it. I'm going to send out the opt-in, of course, to you all. Okay, so any specific commitment, just okay, yeah. Just going to drop it in now. It's in the post. It's real. Okay. So no one really took the bait, but I liked the fact that you didn't overcommit if you weren't really ready. If you want to go now, I know the hour is up. I can stay up for a few minutes, but totally understand. For those of you who are leaving, I hope you enjoyed it. I'll send out a follow-up reminder, follow-up email to you all. Okay, super. So that's really kind of your coaching session for the month. All right, how are you feeling about October now? A bit more clear, a bit more motivated, a bit more energized?
A lot more clear, yes. Thank you very much.
Good, good. Okay, so let's wrap up on a little bit of feedback. What are you taking away?
I'm taking away that I have to stop sometimes. That's what I'm taking away. That I fill my day and I go on all day and then I'm not putting enough structure on it. And really, I'm just like a busy idiot some days, to be honest. So I'm taking away, to be more structured. I have all the things that I should do, that shouldn't do. But really, I think the main thing is hard stop at 7 p.m. and stop thinking about it and starting out tomorrow.
7 p.m. Okay. Our productivity increases when we learn to switch off.
Yeah.
So you'll actually gain more from that, I would imagine. And also, Gulden will be bringing us all out to Cyprus to learn how to live again when we just get obsessed with work. So look out for retreats from her in the future. And we'll get nice, beautiful, fresh, delicious food as well, no doubt, and a little bit of yoga or something out under the sunshine. Okay. Right, everybody, you know where I am. Reach out to me if I can be of help. I mentor coaches. I'll do a one-off session. Maybe I was thinking a clarity session might be kind of if you like to just a one-off session, just maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours, just to really get clear on help you if you're in this business, help you get clear on where you are now, and then get a bit of a structure. And then from that, you'll have to know, well, do I need coaching now? Or maybe it's better off in 3 months or 6 months when I have all this done. So that could be good value as well. Are you saying bye, David?
No, I've got a suggestion.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah.
There's a series which was done on HBO called Hacking Your Mind.
Oh, I saw the name.
and it was made in 2020-21, so it's up to date.
Yeah.
And it's all about human behavior and the latest neuroscience.
Ooh.
I'd suggest it's 4 1-hour episodes, so it's not massive, great big, long-winded. But everyone can learn a lot from it. It's probably the best thing I've seen on the subject.
Oh, great tip! Thank you.
So
Thanks.
I learned a lot from that.
Cool. Alrighty. We better call it a day.
Shane, I just want to say one thing.
I'm here for 2 minutes. I can help. Go ahead, Paula.
Probably something that probably has been a bit useful. I've been doing it on and off. So someone I buddied up with on the training, we've just kept in contact a little bit, just to kind of, because sometimes that's what it is. You just need that support from someone else who's either, going through what you're going through, like, being coached. And I think even just doing this as a group, so it's just nice that, yes, it's great obviously to hear from you, but someone else who is doing what you're, who's at the same level or, going through this. So if there's anyone who wants to reach out.
Brilliant idea. Okay, and just,
or if you do something like that, Shane.
Something there, and if you can't find them, I don't know what can I introduce each other. Yeah, you probably know a familiar face who's trying to reach out. You probably find them on social media or something if you don't already have her details, and get a little bit of a system going. It's a great idea for networking. Get into the habit of every so often reaching out to someone, a colleague, someone going through it, a potential customer, etc. Golden.
I actually thought this is the first thing to do, to reach out to, because we have a Facebook group as the IHS graduates, and I was some of my course mates I'm already seeing on the group that they already started working like practicing as an LC, and I thought maybe I can reach out to some of them. Maybe they are happy to help, to give me some advices on how to start, or where to or give me some advice or inspiration even.
Inspiration,
so I thought that might be a good idea to do so, at least for me.
Put it on the to-do list.
Yeah. Yes.
But not with space. And that could be a fun one. That could be a fun one for your list to go, yeah, I'm gonna, as part of your work, as part of your business and networking, I'm reaching out, and it's like I had a lovely conversation with so, and I feel so much better. I'm more motivated now. Yeah, cool. That can be really important. Ongoing support.
And do you have somewhere online where we can see what other services you provide?
And it's not really, the website it's all kind of due an upgrade, and just having kind of the main packages are kind of somewhere. But if you just set up a call the best way, and then we'll talk about a 15-minute call or 30-minute call. You can ask me and I help you kind of find the best fit that I think is for you, would suit you. And eventually I get all those packages and offers and up on a website, really. Okay. But it's not my forte. I'm better at engaging with y'all, talking. Sorry, move my microphone. I hope it didn't cause an echo. Okay. Let's call it a day. Thank you so much. Actually, do you mind if I get a quick screenshot? If anybody wants to knock off, I'll just big smile. Let me go again. Big smile or thumbs up or whatever you want to do. Oh, my mouse won't scroll. Sorry. Okay. Thank you all so much. I might share that on a message somewhere. Okay. Hopefully see you on the next time. I'll send out the email. If you're not on my Design Your Life coaching email list, you reach out, and I'll give you an opt-in link tomorrow. Make sure you're on. It's the most guaranteed way to know you get the events. And this one's sold out, so you get the first first invite. Better let you go. Thank you so much. See you all next time. Have a great October. Make it your best October yet.
Thank you, Shane.
Thanks for all the contributions and the sharing. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.